right? And I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go to DC. So I drove up by myself. There was a couple friends. I was like, hey, do you want to go? And they're like, no, I have to work. Right? I have a job. And I'm like, I don't. So I went up there. I did end up meeting up with a friend of mine, actually, that I was in the Army with and went to airborne school with.
Oh, nice.
And I hadn't seen him in a very long time. He got arrested also after I did. But so that was really because you hear people that were solely focused, like I was going because I'm protesting a stolen election, and that's awesome. I do it. Okay, great. I wouldn't say that was my passion or my motivation. Do I believe that? Yeah, I do. But there was a lot of things going on, and so we listened to the rally. I couldn't hear anything. I was so far back, and man, I've never seen so many people in my life. It was a beautiful thing. A lot of things surprised me there, actually. So couldn't really hear anything. It's really cold, and it wraps up. And me and my buddy we're getting ready to leave, and we both parked in Northern Virginia somewhere and took the train in. So there were so many people going towards the Capitol. So we were like, you know what? Let's just go the other way, and we'll just leave. We'll go back to our cars. So that was our intention. And so we started walking, and my buddy has a hat on. It says like a Iraq war veteran.
Right on.
And because he was over there. And we had these guys, they were like, hey, come here. And so we go over, they're like, hey, can you help us unfold this flag? And so they had this like big plastic crate with this gigantic flag. And I'm like, this flag is so freaking big. So we're unfolding it. And then they're like, hey, come on, come with us. And so my buddy and I were like, all right, whatever. We'll just walk a little, we'll carry this thing for a little bit, man. And we did this, right? And again, my intention was I'm leaving. I'm going back to my car. And we got under the flag, and everybody's there and chanting, and you're walking down wherever it is in DC that we're walking, and there's people all over. And I don't know what it was, like the feeling that came over me and over so many other people. Like I've never this is part of history right now with what's going on. And here I am under this big American flag, and we're chanting USA, and it's just, not something that I've ever really done in my life. It's just, like never been to a protest in the middle of a street, but man, it was electrifying. I'll say that. So we kept walking. And even though there were several times it was like, all right, we probably got to go the other way. I kept going. And long story short, because I can't go over every detail, so it'll take way too long. Right. We end up going up the stairs, I guess, which is on the Senate wing side. So as opposed to where the West Tunnel area wasn't over there. I didn't go there. Thank goodness that's not where I went, because the outcome could have been a lot different. Right. Because we kind of made our way up the steps, and we got up to the very top. It was when we were there and everything was totally peaceful. The only thing that wasn't peaceful at the time was, a couple things. So the window by the Senate side door was smashed out at that point, but there was nobody going in. There was nobody in there, even though the door was open and there were cops out there. Nobody was there. Totally peaceful. The only thing that wasn't peaceful was there was a fight that was starting, because there were some guys that were saying, hey, these are Antifa guys, and they're agitating. And I don't know exactly what they were saying or doing, but I got the sense that they had something to do with the broken window. I don't know that, but that was sort of what was going on. And so at that point, the fight that kind of happened. And plus at that point, the tear gas was coming in, and you could hear like the flashbang grenades going off. And then they were shooting people with pepper balls. I never got hit with a pepper ball, but one whizzed right past my face. And I did get hit with a flashbang. Later on, I got pepper sprayed very badly in the face, completely unnecessarily. So during this time, So because of all of these things, because of, I guess the way that they're sort of moving the crowd with the flashbangs and the pepper spray and tear gas, it starts getting tighter and tighter where we are. So there's a couple cops right up by the wall. And I'm like, can we go in? Can we go in? Because I can't go the other way at this point. Like there's no way you're leaving that place at this point. You can't. Too many people. So they were like, they said, you can go. If they're inside, there's going to be, they said there's going to be cops inside though. That's what they said. Something to that extent. So I tell my buddy who, there's some background noise. So I'm like, hey, they said we could go in, which was true. They did. Right. Of course, we could never find, they wouldn't give us that camera footage.
Imagine
okay.
That.
So then at this point, I walk to the front door. Okay. I'm there. There's a couple cops there were like, can we come in? And they're kind of like looking at each other, like not really saying anything. Somebody radios something. And like 30 seconds later, what I suspect was a supervisor walks up. Now, again, remember, nobody's pushing their way. Nobody's yelling. Nobody's doing anything stupid. We're literally like, can we come through? Because we can't go. We have nowhere to go.
Right.
And so, and by the way, too, let me just say that some of this stuff, I'm trying to remember this the best that I can.
Yeah.
Because I've spent 4 years really trying to not think about this stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So, there may be some whatever that may be slightly inaccurate with the timeline. So anyway, supervisor comes up and he waves us in. At this point, I've got my cell phone up and I'm recording this. I'm like, okay, great. Because I'm like, they're letting us in. Okay. And I'm recording it and everybody's chanting USA, USA. And we go into like the crypt area. And that's where I stay, right? I'm like just there. Nobody's doing anything crazy. I guess so. This is during the time that Ashley Babbitt got shot. Right. About 30 minutes later, I think I was inside for 37 minutes, just standing there. Because I'm like, I don't know where to go. I can't go the other way. So I guess it was the time Ashley Babbitt was shot. And then the riot police at this point come in and start pushing. I don't think I had seen riot police up to this point, at least not up close, but now they're pushing us in or pushing us out. So it's so packed. I'm like, I can't push in front of me. So I exited through the broken window because the doors were crammed. I'm like, I'm just going to get out of here. Right. So of course they've got video footage rolling or, I don't know if you know who Baked Alaska is. I can't remember his first name, but he's kind of had this infamous live stream that they got a lot of evidence off of this, and so right. I was on that. And so as I'm going through, my buddy is recording also. I'm going through the window, and I kind of go through and turn around. Well, they stopped this freeze frame. This one spot where it almost kind of looks like I'm giving a thumbs up. I'm not. It's just the way that like I'm moving. And so in the statement of facts, they're like, Mr. Etter, blah, 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 stops and poses for a glory shot or whatever they call it. Right. I'm like, you guys are scumbags because that is not what I did. And anybody, if we were able to get that footage, and that's the thing, they're banking on us not getting the footage and refuting that claim. And even if I were to refute the claim, who cares? What difference does that make? They've already put it there in a statement of facts, which they put up on the DOJ website, which you search my name in Google, and that's the first thing that's going to come up. So they smear you with the evidence that they want, and then say, well, if it's not true, then your lawyer can fight it, right? Oh, you want the discovery? Sure. Here's 40,000 hours of discovery. And now your attorney's like, well, this is going to cost $150,000.
Right.
Everything that they did was to punish and inflict as much pain and damage on every single individual that was there that day. Anybody that says otherwise is a fraud, a liar, intellectually dishonest or just plain stupid.